And oh, sorry, Oscar. What's up? How's it going? If you're returning, what's up? How's it going? It's very good to see you again. As you can see, I am back in the corner. That didn't sound too right. I'm back with y'all. Yeah, man. This is episode something. Probably shouldn't do that. I should probably know where I'm at. Anyway, how y'all doing? I'm doing good. You know, kind of just been hanging around, trying to keep up with this thing. So I'm trying to keep myself accountable, which is good. I recently went to Austin for Classic Games Fest. That was fun. I picked up a few games, nothing too crazy. I was trying to keep a low budget, so trying to keep up with that, right? Got credits scrolling. I don't know why. I put a game on. If you can't see it, here, I'll restart it. I'll reset it. I don't want to get copyrighted, so. You're welcome for the PlayStation 2 homemade intro. That will be included with this video. If you want extra, go support me on Patreon. I don't have one, but I'll start one if you want more of that. Maybe some feet pics. Hey man, I don't discriminate. Got my boy Grimace right here. Got my boy Oscar down here. He's a cat. He is orange and he is currently asleep. Yeah, man. Just been keeping up. You know, went to Classic Games Fest, like I said. I recently just got back, so I'm kind of trying to get back into that daily routine. And I've just been kind of going with the flow, which I'm not upset by. It is a little bit stressful because sometimes it can get to be a lot, but I'm not upset. But, I mean, I've kind of been thinking about this a lot, and especially with the movies that have come out recently, like Fantastic Four and Superman, and even for video games, you have a whole bunch of remakes and remasters. You got a new Spider-Man movie coming out. Like, it's just the things that I've been noticing a lot, and it's how nostalgia won't die. I guess it's one of those things that they are right about, is that nostalgia always sells. And I mean, it's fair. I get it. People want a better way to experience the things they enjoy. I think I started really thinking about this because I think I've mentioned it before, a big Metal Gear Solid fan, and the new Metal Gear Solid game is about to come out in August. I think it's around the time this video goes up. So it is going to be interesting to see how it plays out without the original creator behind it. Because I don't want to go into detail and become a Kojima meat writer, even though I am. That's not what I want to talk about and how I want to talk about this. The way I want to talk about it is how art now is building off previous art, but not in the right way, right? Does that make sense? I know it's going to sound hypocritical coming from a guy who's just talking to a camera on a podcast on YouTube where there's probably millions of them. But the way I see it is that it's really interesting to see how instead of taking the risk to create new art and do all these type of things that might be worth something in the long run to just rehash the same old thing in a sometimes a good way. I will admit, sometimes in a good way. But art is meant to inspire and help create new art instead of old art. The way I'm like trying to explain it, I guess, is there is a lot of media that is just, instead of trying to get the right thing, they try to make it the same thing for people nowadays, even though people are craving something new, something that they've never experienced. Because as time goes on and as the internet becomes more accessible, there's stuff that people get desensitized to, and it gets to a point where it's old, it's not fun, and you're kind of just stuck in the same loop. The way I see it is we need to come up with a way that brings out the Silent Hill in art. The way I think about that is Silent Hill as a game itself. Am I showing my feet? I don't know. Sorry. The way I see it is most horror games, especially psychological horror games like Silent Hill, they are based off David Lynch films. David Lynch films, I've only seen like one. David Lynch films are meant to be questioned. They are meant to be up to interpretation. They're meant to be that. And that one detail is what inspired Silent Hill initially when it started coming out, and is what made it the powerhouse it is today. I think leaving stuff up to interpretation should be what we as artists strive to do. And it doesn't have to be like up to interpretation, but it should be opportunity for growth, right? Like, personally, anytime I'm trying to create art or I'm trying to like process it in some way, I want it to be inspiring for others that are going to come after me, because I know they will be better. They're going to be way better than I ever am or was or something. Maybe I turn into an ice robot and kill everybody. I don't know. But I think that initial click occurred to me pretty recently, and it's kind of interesting to think, man, right? Because I love watching movies, I love playing video games, I love reading books, and there's so many times where I'm watching or reading and it's a remastered or remake or a reinterpretation of something, and it's like, this is interesting and this is cool, but this isn't the dopamine hit that you get from experiencing something for the first time, right? One thing that happened to me while I was in Austin for Classic Games Fest was I was there with my friends, right? And we don't get to hang out a whole bunch, so we all were like together for a weekend, and it just so happened we were all playing the same game, right? We were all playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And it's just funny because it occurs to me, it's like, I don't get to talk to these guys too much about games, but when I'm sitting there playing a game and they're directing me to the right stuff to like complete the objective, like that's a dopamine hit that hit me that I was not expecting. because you're talking about a game that all of y'all are playing, all on different levels, but get to see accomplished for the first time through someone else's eyes. That I think especially is what's magical about new art, right? Or experiencing something new for the first time. Like, I literally just saw a reel, like, not even 5 minutes ago, where it was a girl and her friends, and she was, like, making one of those reels where they talk about, or not talk about, the show, like, what's going around. And it was right after they got out of the movie theaters, and it said, like, that moment where you're doing the movie theater circle in the parking lot. And basically, it's when everybody's talking about the movie you just watched for like an hour to hour and a half. Dude, that moment is so sick. That's the moment. Even old art can inspire that. But I think that moment, especially when it comes to new art, is magical. That is stuff that, like, sticks with you. Like, I don't remember... What was the last, like, Marvel movie I saw with my friends? Man, they've all been kind of mushed together. Or I'll just give it for Superman example. Superman, I remember the movie. I remember most of the stuff that happened because it was a really good movie. But what I really remember most is everybody's opinions after the movie, talking about what they thought of as their interpretation of Superman in that movie. You know? Sorry, I had a burp. What was that? Yeah, interpretation of the movie. Yeah, is their interpretation of the movie. Like, talking with your friends, discussing things that's going on. That is what I really enjoy. And what I've experienced at least, is what's growing on me as I get older. Right? And I could be, struggling with, like, mental health, or I could be struggling with, like, physical injury or financial troubles or something along those lines. But imagine if you had, like, a broken leg and you're, like, limping out of the movie theater and you had a good time, right? But afterwards you're talking with your friends and you're just, like, talking about the movie, even if the movie was bad and you're just shitting on it, but it's a movie you've never seen. Like, that's so much fun. That is, like, you're not thinking about your broken leg. You're thinking about how you're talking with your friends about the shitty movie, right? And I feel like when people... Oh, shit, my bad. I'm, like, touching the camera with my foot. I feel like when you get to that point of reusing nostalgia over and over again, it's going to get to a point where it's tiring, or it's going to show that you don't know how to grow. That's really what it is. And I feel like these people with all this money in the world, who, like, can buy anything, can move to different planets, can basically run off and forget us, I feel like they're the ones who lack growth. Those people who lack growth and are the top 1% are essentially hurting the rest of the world. And, like, it could be something like Jet X2O. You can make something like Jet X2O. It's a very wonky jet ski racing game, and you'll still be praised because it was a fun experience. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to see this game remastered or remade. No. You're telling me with the hollow foil cover, they're going to remake this game For new people, no. What they're gonna do is they're gonna put out the 10th God of War, which hopefully is good. Maybe another Resident Evil, which hopefully is good. Right? They're gonna keep building on these big franchises, and then you're gonna have the people who don't make as much money, who don't have as much resources. They're gonna be the ones who take up all these smaller projects or these first time projects and create something that will stick around longer than any other art that will matter. Like, one of the games I get recommended the most that I haven't played, at least, is Undertale. I don't know why. I don't know why I haven't played it. I know it's mainly just because it hasn't been on my radar. I've had friends tell me, but it's not really something I've been like, I need to play it, you know? And for that to be an indie game that came out when I, a 23-year-old man, was in middle school, when that game came out, for it to still be talked about now, and for it to still be one of the greatest games of all time, that is telling me something as an artist and as a person who likes to create, that it doesn't matter what resources you have, it matters the message you're trying to convey. Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what Undertale happens at the end. I know there's 12 different endings maybe, but all I know is that seeing it from afar, it makes me want to be better as an artist. And I don't think it really hit me until a couple days ago when thinking about this, because I felt like I've been in this slump for writing stand-up and for trying to come up with video ideas. I can't solve this Rubik's Cube of how do I want to succeed but also keep myself in it, right? How do I succeed and keep myself invested? Because personally, I like talking to camera, I like chilling out here and all this and that, but how do I make people get interested in me and come support me, right? If I feel like I'm not pushing myself, and this podcast is like a baseline pushing myself. I'm slowly getting out there, trying to do every week, making sure it's up to some quality. I do want it to look good. I do want it to succeed. I do want it to be entertaining. I do want to talk for a long time. That way, you can maybe just have me in the background as you're doing something. I want to be that guy, maybe have you think a little bit. But reality is I need to think of a way that keeps people invested. And when I come up with those ideas, they are way shorter than I think, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. I thought about cooking because I do enjoy cooking. I do enjoy performing as a comedian. I feel like maybe I can be funny without cutting myself. I also do want to talk about video games. I also do want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do a little bit of everything. And I kind of get to this point where I'm stuck, right? And now I'm slowly forcing my gears to turn to where I'm trying to make something happen. And I think the initial pushing part of creating art is going to be rough. I know it's going to be rough. But I feel like even now that I'm thinking about it, even when I was starting this, it was more of a get it out, figure it out later. And I don't know why I keep overthinking stuff like that. I'm just a chronic, like, perfectionist. So I'm like, I want it to be the way I envisioned it because this is mine. I created it. It has to be the way I think of it, you know? And I see all these magnificent artists, whether it's like drawers or writers or developers or freaking directors. And like, even right now, I'm like looking on my bookshelf and I'm envious. I'm envious of the art they've created because I feel like I won't be able to achieve that. And then immediately right after I think that, it's you're not gonna be able to do it if you don't start trying to do it. And I think about that a lot. I think about it almost every day. And it's funny too, because like I always correlate it to video games in some way or comics in some way. And like, even thinking of it now, it's like the people who created those genre defining things started out just for fun, or they started it just because they wanted to. And I am realizing now that I want to do this. I do want to succeed in this because it feels the most like it feels the most like I have my foot in the right door. Out of all the things I've tried, out of all the things I've done, it's the one feeling that I have where I'm walking in the right direction. It's the only step forward I feel like I'm making progress in. And it's hard to like gauge how long I'll be doing this until I am confident enough to where it's like, oh, I got these ideas like nothing, you know? I got these in the bag. Like this is second nature. But then there's also a part of me that's like scratching that very tiny itch in the back of my head going, well, why don't you do something meaningful for others that has gratitude behind it, something that you will feel like you've earned respect or something like that, right? Maybe respect is not the right word, but maybe something where you feel like you have a bit of worth in doing. And since I just graduated, I've been thinking a lot about doing something as a instructor of some type. I doubt I'll be good. I do want to try it. But then it's like, if I try that, how am I going to have enough time for something like this? I don't know if this is meaningful. It could be meaningful for somebody out there. It could be just as meaningful or just as powerful as teaching somebody. Right? Does that make sense? I could be ranting, but for all I know, it's hard. It's hard to think about that because it's like you get older and life hits you and you realize like it's not whether or not I want to do something meaningful. It's whether or not I want to enjoy what I'm doing. And if I do something that is meaningful, but I don't enjoy what I'm doing, who is it helping? It's not helping you, because you're not going to be enjoying what you're doing, so you're not going to give your full effort. If I enjoy what I'm doing, I'm going to give my full effort. That's just plain and simple. And I've been thinking about that a lot. It's probably the only thing that's kept my head held high right now, is that I am doing something meaningful because it is meaningful to me. And that's one of the big things I've been struggling with. So it's kind of hard to like gauge where I'm at. And one thing I hate is people always saying like, you don't know what you want, you don't know what you want. Like, I know what I want. I know exactly what I want. It's what do I want to do in the meantime? Like, do I want to do something meaningful? Do I want to do something that's, engaging? Do I want to do something that's interesting? Do I want to do something where I will learn all the time? Like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 5 years. I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 10 years. I don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, right? Other than work. I don't know what I'm going to do after. I don't know what I'm going to do the day after that. I do know that rent needs to be paid. I do know I need to eat. I do know sometimes I need to take a shit. Those are like the main things I know that I have to accomplish. And they're not crazy goals. Honestly, they're not even fun goals, but they're goals. They are kind of what keeps me going. I do enjoy what I do, so I do have fun as I'm doing it. Do I have any thoughts about possibly trying something new? Yeah, of course, all the time. But I think that's just more coming from me wanting to learn rather than me wanting to settle, I guess. I don't know if settle is the right word either. Like, I do really like doing this. I do love creating. I love doing everything. But it's like, as I'm doing it, why don't I feel the thing of learning? Why don't I feel the urge of learning as I'm doing this? Even though I definitely should. I definitely should be learning. I honestly should probably be learning on this, on how to create stuff, on how to keep people engaged, how to do this, how to do that. But every time I learn about it, it's consuming. It's such a gray area. It's like, yeah, it's interesting, but then you have to do it this way, then you have to do it this way, you have to do it this way, you have to do it this way. The one thing I hate more than anything is restriction. If I can't create without restriction, I don't want to create. And I think that's what's really been hitting me right now. And I think about it a lot, right? Like, sorry to bring back a video game, but the new Donkey Kong came out, right? And that game, you can destroy anything. Literally anything. And it's like, what kind of artist created that and was like, no restrictions for the player? Who came up with the idea and was like, you know what? I'm tired of restriction. And now people are claiming it's going to be the best game of the year just because there's no limits. That is what I think is interesting about art. It's more satisfying if you create without restriction. And I want to do that, but my issue is, how do I do that, right? How do I do that? How do I do that? That's what I don't know. My biggest puzzle right now. And it is an interesting puzzle. I've been trying to solve it. You know, it's just been up in my head, man. It's kind of hard to discern. You want the joy of creation, but hate the possibility of a worse outcome. And I think that is what scares everybody. And I think that's probably what's been stopping me from, you know, doing anything else other than a podcast. I want to produce shows. I want to come up with scripts. I want to do this. I want to do that. But it's like, how do I do all that without essentially running myself into the ground? And I need to figure that out. But as for right now, I'm just sitting here talking to y'all, enjoying Jet X2O. So, I don't know, man. That's been on my mind recently. I mean, maybe y'all have some thoughts. I hope you like this video. Talk to me, you know? I'm always willing to talk. You know, if you're an artist out there, let me know. I mean, I would love to talk on how people's brains work. That is probably one of the things that excites me the most, is seeing how people think. So, good or bad, just let me know, you know? Like the video, do all the YouTube stuff, because it really helps me out, helps y'all out, and hopefully I have something. Hopefully I have something. I was gonna say something and then I forgot. So I don't have something. That's what I've come to conclude, Oscar. I don't have anything. I am drawing a blank. Not a single thought up here. Not after all that. Are you kidding? Jesus Christ. Oh, my bad. Jesus Christ. Also, I just took my earrings out not that long ago. It's a little weird to have, like, my ears with no earrings. I mean, I still have the piercing. I'm about to, like, put them in. I just forgot because I dropped one of my earrings down the sink. Not getting that boy back. It was also one of the earrings I got when I got my ears pierced. So that one hurt. It was a little stud. He was just a little stud. And he went down the wrong hole. I told him not to go in those holes, bro. He was just a hole chaser. My little stud is gone. But that's all I got, guys. Stay awesome. Help me out. And I will talk to y'all next time.